This actually speaks as step one to the question, what's the brain like? Are there any metaphors, things we know pretty well, where we could say the brain is kind of like that? And we haven't leaned on this idea in class, but often when something's really complex, people understand it through a metaphor. Oh, the atom is like this solar system with the sun and stuff flying around it. The brain is as complex as anything. We could use some metaphors. One is, I'm going to take the liberty of some simple-minded cartoons. There's some ways in which the brain, surprisingly, compared to what we knew 15 years ago, has the quality of a muscle. That is, obviously, if you spend a lot of time exercising and then spend $4.50 on the high-protein drink afterwards, then you have this change as a function of experience. The muscle is a plastic, changeable system. In a sense, everything is, but obviously there's much more muscle change than skeletal change. You don't get way taller, but you, whatever. I'm sure many of you out there have gotten way more muscular. And as a result, you're more able to do the thing you did repeatedly. So if you spent a lot of time doing this, 6 months later you can do even more of this than when you started. The brain actually does have those properties. In fact, in this way, the analogy that the brain is like a computer breaks down. So if you have a computer on which you run word processing a lot, the computer does not grow new circuits that are specialized for the execution of a word processing program. That would be a pretty good kind of computer. You could imagine that, and actually there are some alternative computer hardware technologies that I believe will eventually have that kind of plastic rewiring system in a more brain-like way. But your basic computer doesn't change at all as a function of use at the level of hardware. The brain, unlike a computer, does change at the level of the, quote, hardware, the wiring of the brain, as a result of experience. So it's much more like a muscle, an incredibly simple-minded analogy, more like that than a computer, which sounds like a sophisticated analogy, but in this way breaks down.